Hey guys, King of Charmander is here. Today I'll be your judge, your jury, and your analyst. And today we will be looking at Umbreon with Psychic, thanks to the new community day, the repeat, whether you're happy or not, whether you want the shiny, etc. Psychic Umbreon is good for PvP. So, is it worth having your Psychic Umbreon or your Last Resort Umbreon for Open Ultra League? Let's find out. Anyways, Umbreon is a beast. We all know that already. I made Umbreon in Season 7. I made Legend with Umbreon in Season 7. It was freaking, it's nutty overpowered, and in my opinion, it should be banned. Just like how it's banned in Ultra League Remix. But, as you see here, Umbreon is super good because it's so tanky. Great League Umbreon's good because it's tanky. So Ultra League, guess what? It's tanky. You get it? As you see, Umbreon is a super tank. It's able to live through so many things, even though it's weak against it. It takes a couple of charges before Togekiss can actually take out Umbreon. And if Umbreon actually has energy advantage, it can actually take out Togekiss with Last Resort. So, as you see here, Umbreon is a pure Dark type. Pure Dark type carries few weaknesses and resistances, to be exact 3. So you reach the Bug Fairy fighting, but you do double resist Psychic, you resist Dark, as well as Ghost. Because Open Ultra League has so many Ghost not Dark Pokemon, so many Ghost Pokemon and Psychic Pokemon, i.e. Cresselia and Giratina Altered, Umbreon, even though it's super meta, is considered kind of like the anti-meta to Open Ultra League, because it beats most of every legendary except for like Registeel, unless you have a ton of energy and you have shield advantage, etc. against Registeel. Just so you could literally foul play to death. Anyways, it's gonna get Psychic, so with that being said, we're gonna look at Umbreon for Open Ultra League. So as far as Ultra League goes, Umbreon's actually strongest in Open Ultra League. As you see, it ranks at number 21. It's able to beat, like I mentioned, pretty much the super meta. It beats all the elemental Pokemon, Swampert, Venusaur, and Charizard, and it also beats the big two. The big two being Giratina Altered and Cresselia. Now, you do have a few weaknesses. Those weaknesses being Melmetal, Articuno, Muck Lapras, and Obstagoon. Melmetal isn't that bad, though, because Melmetal debuffs itself with superpowers. So, in certain scenarios, you can actually, like, it's not a bad matchup to have a Melmetal on your Umbreon. You're able to beat Articuno, and you're also able to beat... Yeah, I mean, you're able to beat Articuno, but in later terms, as well as basically everything you're weak to with the exception of Obstagoon, you can possibly beat with an Umbreon with shields, etc. That's what makes Umbreon so freaking good, because it's so tanky. Obstagoon obviously is your worst nightmare. Obstagoon will resist your Snarls, as well as because it has counters, it's going to beat you to death. And if it boosts, it's even worse. As you see here, another thing about Umbreon is that you kind of need a perfect. Not really need, you must. As you see here, level 50 Umbreon is a must. It's a perfect, so you're gonna have to spend a whole bunch of Stardust if you don't have one yet. It has a really high overall stat product, as you see here, and it's good in every position. So it's basically, that's just how good it is. The only bad thing about it is it does have low fast move pressure, as you see on PvPoke.com. So Snarls isn't going to, unless it's like 1 HP in a dream, or like one fast move away from victory, Snarl isn't likely going to win you the match straight Snarl. But other than that, as you see, Umbreon's a beast, and in a lot of the top teams, it's been on a lot of top teams for good reasons. It's that good. Alright, now here's the part you all probably skipped to. This is the PvPoke.com matrix. So, as you see here, we got Umbreon with Psychic at level 50. I also put the level 51 on here. Actually, hold on, let me fix that real quick. I didn't put the level 51 on here. There you go. Okay, now the level 51 is on here. And then I also put Last Resort. So, we're going to see if Psychic level 50, 51, or Last Resort Umbreon. And then, as you see, I have the Ultra League meta to the right. We're going to run the 2 shield, hit battle. And as you see here, I did a preview of this and did a little bit of running around before then. It's honestly not that really interesting. Umbreon with Foul Play alone seems to be more of like it can do a lot of things, but it doesn't have a lot of key matchups. It actually flips. As you see here, with Empoleon, with a level 51, you can win with Foul Play. So you don't need Psychic for things that you flip with level 50 versus 51. As you see, Last Resort actually works out for either one, the Mirror, Mandibuzz, or Alolan Muck. The only thing that Last Resort, Psychic really does for the 2-Shield is the poison types, as in XL, Toxicroak, as well as Venusaur. I've seen Venusaurs in Open Ultra League. I've also seen, the odds of you seeing one is extremely low. The odds of seeing it is extremely low. So, in the 2-Shield, in all honesty, Last Resort Umbreon is actually better than the Psychic one. Because most of the matchups you see here, you're going to use Foul Play just because you get stabbed. Same type attack bonus. Alright, as you see, the 2-Shield isn't really too much to, really cheer about. So, hopefully the 1-Shield gives us better answers. So, in the 2-Shield, again, Dark types, you're able to flip Dark type matchups, and Dark type matchups are more prominent than Poison types. In the 1-Shield, it's kind of the same story. As you see, you beat what you're supposed to beat, you lose what you're going to beat against, but most of the time you will be using Foul Play. You will not be Psyching your Melmetal. So, the interesting thing is, 50 versus 51, if you don't know, if you have a level 51 Umbreon in the 1-Shield, you can actually beat Melmetal, as you see here. Again, that's why I said Melmetal isn't, a super bad matchup, just because Melmetal has to superpower you. So, Umbreon is just so bulky, it can eat a few 2 or 3 superpowers before it goes down, or before you're in any danger. And, as you see here, the only thing you really flip in the 1-Shield are Toxicroak and Venusaur, which, like I said, is very rare. Also, in the 1-Shield, if you happen to see it, with Last Resort, you can actually flip Venusaur as well, just going straight Foul Play. So it's really, in the 1-Shield, it kind of is the same story. Alright, so in the 2s and the 1s, as you see, it's not super relevant. However, Psychic Umbreon in the 0s you make it work for us. So if we go back to the 0s, in the 0s, level 51 Umbreon can flip Charizard, but again, you are going to just use Foul Play. You do not need Psychic. As you see, there is kind of an interesting thing with Psychic, but I'm going to show that later. Other than that, as you see, nothing really notably flips except the poison types, which you aren't likely to see. And ironically, the most common poison type you're going to see is Alolan Muck, which, by the way, you will die to if you don't have Last Resort. As you see in the 0s, nothing really changes much at all. Most of the targets you have or will have Foul Play. If you're in the 1-0s, in the 1-0s, as you see, most of the things you will Foul Play as well. The thing is, with Psychic, you can beat Machamp. So, the old Machamp is popular in Open Ultra League, but it's very dangerous. That's all I have to say. However, the good news is with a level 51 Umbreon, you're able to flip both Alolan Muck and Machamp. So, in the 1-0s, as you see, you can straight Foul Play a Alolan Muck to death. So you could just go straight Foul Play against the Alolan Muck. But that's the 1-0s. You can also Psychic down a Poliwrath. Having a win condition against Poliwrath is pretty cool. Even though Poliwrath isn't super common, it still is in Open Ultra League, and it's still really powerful. As you see here, you will Psychic it to death. And then Foul Play in the end. But most of the time, you'll probably have Chip, so then you have to Psychic down. The reason being is because you're able to, as you see, Umbreon's so tanky, it can take 2 dynamic punches before it goes down. But you need a shield to win this matchup. Other than that, you beat the Psychic type, the Poison, not the Psychic types, you beat the Poison types as well. So, key matchups to flip in the 1-0s is Poliwrath, as well as Machamp. So, basically, the 2 most common fighters, but you need to be in the 1-0s or have shield advantage. Obviously, if you have 2 shields with an Umbreon, you're going to have a good advantage against your opponent, and if you play it out, you pretty much beat most of the entire meta. Flipping the fighting types, like I mentioned, in the 2-0s, you can also flip Alolan Muck. So, being able to flip that is fine, but, it's just, it's a very questionable, return on, what you want to get. With shield advantage, with 2-to-1 shield advantage, as you see here, in the 2-to-1 shield advantage, everything remains relatively the same, except for the fact that with the 2-to-1s, you can actually beat Alolan Muck with or without Psychic, just because you're going to straight foul it. You're just going to go straight Foul Play. So if you have shield advantage, you can block 2 Sludge Waves, and then you can just destroy their Alolan Muck. So there's win cons with or without Last Resort. However, you only flip the poison types, which aren't really that common, like I mentioned, as you see with the 2-to-1 shield advantage. In other words, is it really worth it? And that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was as you see, this was kind of fast, but again, when I do my videos, I only simplify stuff like key points. I've been doing analysis for a very long time, so it's kind of it's an interesting, like, Psychic Umbreon for Open Ultra League is very interesting, just because it does cover the fighting types, but you have to have a really high advantage, either energy or shield advantage, to really take advantage of Psychic in Open Ultra League. As far as Umbreon goes, if you want my own personal opinion, I think Last Resort is better, because the odds of you encountering a Dark type matchup or a mirror match where Last Resort would actually flip the match would be a lot higher than using a Poison type. Because you need either shield or energy advantage for the fighting type matchups in Poliwrath and Machamp, which are the main ones for Open Ultra League, it's really not worth swapping over a community move for another one. So if you're considering Last Resort and you play mostly Open Ultra League, the good news is I think it's a lot better than switching over to Psychic, just because you don't have a lot of targets. Or the targets require you to have an obscene advantage. Well, it's not an obscene advantage, but having shield advantage is kind of a lot to ask for in Open Ultra League, especially with XLs flying around everywhere. So Last Resort Umbreon has done just fine for me in Open Ultra League and has taken me to Legend twice. So I don't really... It's okay. I don't see how Psychic does much. And along with that, if you have Psychic and you end up in the mirror match against Dark types, you're kind of screwed because you don't have an answer. Last Resort gives you that answer against the Dark types, like I mentioned. So because the odds are, like I mentioned, in plain summary, the odds of you seeing Dark types are a lot higher. So Last Resort, in my opinion, is better. But it's up to you on what you want to cover. Most matchups you will beat will just go straight foul play. Other than that, it's really up to you. But again, I think Last Resort is better. Hopefully this gives you an idea of what you want to do with your Open League Umbreon. Other than that, you still have Ultra Premier Cup if you don't like Open Ultra League, which most of you don't anyways. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It's totally free. Subscribing is super easy. All you have to do is you see that little, put your mouse over that little box on the bottom right that says subscribe, that little box, and then you can easily see the sub tab. Again, liking and subscribing is totally free, and it helps me with my goal of 3K subs by the end of the year. If you would do me a huge favor, and just like and subscribe, it would totally help me out. I appreciate all my subscribers today, and offer all the support up to this point. Good luck on your Man, I really butchered this part. Good luck on your Go Battle League sets, and I will see you guys on the next video. I need to drink water.
Charmander!